So I'm gonna tell you something. We didn't organize or synchronize the fact that we're gonna have pink shirts on.
Yeah.
He's from Ottawa, I'm from Toronto. He comes out in a pink shirt. I'm looking like, what the fuck, bro?
I don't know, man. Is it great minds think alike, or we're just like predictable that way?
I think we're just crazy.
We're crazy. I'm good with that.
So what are we talking about today, Twan?
Oh, well.
Well, you know what? Before I actually begin, do a quick intro, man. Who are you, and what's your gist, bro?
All right, it's Twan Newan here from Ottawa, Canada, and what I'm doing now is I'm focusing on building resources to help fathers crush it in business, but also learn the tools how to stay connected to their families and stuff like that. So it's been something I've been doing on the side just for my son. It was like 5 hours a week in May, and it's grown so much right now that I make these freaking trips to Toronto to hook up with some boys here and girls, of course, to learn from them, because this whole thing is new to me and it's exploding on the side. So need some help, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So you started this thing, you're helping fathers out in business. What got you into that in the first place?
Well, I kind of went through a divorce and I fell apart, and then I bounced back. And during the bounce back, I was just sharing some of my stories through Facebook. Really, that's all I was on, to be honest. But some of my stories started spreading, and dudes started reaching out to me. And what I learned was that when I started opening up, men started opening up to me too. And that's when they said, "Yo, man, like this is the piece we're missing." And then I started hosting these meeting online through Google Hangout, and I don't do that anymore, but it started that way and it grew to people all over the world. Germany, Switzerland, New York. And this is like voluntary basis. Once a month we come up with a topic and I bring in a bunch of boys together and all dads. We talk about it. And start growing that my main business, which I work with dentists and doctors, boring, but you know, I have 5 staff with the main business. It runs relatively smoothly.
Yeah.
But my love is in this movement, which I call Dude Buddha.
Now, did you create it out of your own necessity, going out of divorce or going through divorce?
You know, I would say no. It kind of happened organically.
Interesting.
You know, it started with one guy in front of Loblaws or Safeway or whatever it is.
Shut up, really?
Yeah, and we just started chatting, and he's like, "Yo, how you doing?" I'm like, "Yo, I'm doing great. What about you?" He's like, "I'm pretty fucked up still."
Yeah.
And
so you know this guy though?
Yeah.
Or you knew him?
We
Yeah.
met through divorce class. Yeah. And he ran into me, and I'm like, "Yo, what's going on?" I'm like, "I'm doing great." He says, "Well, what are you doing? Because I feel like shit still."
Yeah.
And it just grew from one guy, and it went to 3 guys.
Yeah.
And it became weekly meeting at a coffee shop. And then I started learning that men who heard about this didn't want to show up because they wanted to be anonymous. They were embarrassed. So then I said, "Yo, why don't I just host a meeting online? You don't have to show your face. You don't have to even give me your real name." And some people would, one guy, we still call him Gordie Howe.
Okay.
That's what
the hockey player.
The hockey player.
Yeah,
He signs himself as Gordie Howe.
Yeah.
And now he's a positive contributor to the group.
Okay.
But he hasn't, you know, really opened up to show us who he really is.
What would you say are some of the most common things that you've heard or seen that a lot of men are suffering right now?
I think I would say, let's say 3 things.
Okay.
Men are feeling a bit of guilt.
Guilt. Okay, guilt is one, yeah.
Guilt, and it's because, specifically fathers,
Okay.
because they don't know how to connect or reconnect with people they've lost connection with. At first it starts with their kids. It's always that, you know, they go to their kids and suddenly they don't feel they connect with their own kids. They lose the romance, so that's the other connection.
Yep.
But then we find out that they lose connection with their friends. Like they find that their friendship has gone from deep to like surface level. So, but the way we do it, it's not like therapy. It's like pretty sexy. You know, we have a lot of fun. We have, the whole.
Well, name me one thing that everybody in the group has found beneficial.
Yeah. So I would say just mental models.
Mental models. Okay.
Yeah, mental models on how to face different situations.
Okay.
And a mental model on dealing with a lack of romance.
Okay.
A mental model, because it's always a dialogue in their heads. So we start sharing our mental models, our processes, how we think, our own dialogues. And the men in the group, they're all shifting their dialogue. And we dub that as mental models of how to process things, because that's how dudes are. They just process like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sure.
Right? So it's been so amazing that I've invested, and we talked about this earlier.
We were talking.
I've invested on 5 new interns to work with me to do to take all my ideas and output into content, because we have so much content after a year and a half of this. We have like insane amount of content that's so valuable. And what I learned is, this is slightly going off topic for those guys who are trying to scale.
Yeah.
I'm hiring 2 high school students and 2 university students. And the difference I found was, when I was interviewing these high school students, I'm like, yo, can you do this? Like, yeah. What about this? No. You like this? Yeah. Like, it's just real, right?
Yeah,
like,
straight to the point.
Straight to the point.
Yeah.
But these university kids, they're don't get me wrong, they're smart.
Yeah.
But they're now starting to do whatever they can to impress you.
Sure.
So it's like, hey George, can you do this? Yeah, I can. Yeah, totally. I can do that. But you're like, really? Can you? And so then you put them to the test, and they can't do it. But they just said it because they're moderately
Well, the system's so
interested.
fucked up anyways.
It
man.
is. It
right?
is.
You're bred to obey the rules, and if you go outside of the box, you're punished.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like high school, you still had the rebellious attitude, and like really no one gives a fuck about high school.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hear you. And you see it right away when they start.
You know what
working
I
for
think it should be, in fact? Because there's 2 things when people go to uni or college. Well, uni because it's a little bit more expensive. One, I don't think so there should be OHIB, because actually there should be, if your parents are paying for you to go to university or OHIB, you shouldn't go, because I want you to pay with your own money and feel the fucking pain.
All right.
Imagine like if everyone literally took out the cash from their pocket, like, oh shit, $10,000 a year I'm paying. What do you think the number of applicants to university?
I think university will close down. Yeah.
You know?
Shut.
That's on a tangent.
Yeah. I mean, guys, check this out. I hire students to a program, and I used to have an office, and then I don't have an office anymore because I like to work remotely and anywhere I want. So now the students get the same lifestyle.
Yeah.
And the school gave me shit for it.
No, school's crazy, man.
I know. It's like they're like, I'm sorry, we can't give you the students unless they have an office to go to. They can't work in coffee shops. I'm like, what are you talking about? Right? Like this is. You got all these companies who are allowing their staff to do this.
Yeah.
And we're giving the kids the early opportunity to say, yo, you create your own hours, your own time, learn your own pace, do whatever you want, but grow, in your own freedom.
So what advice do you have for anybody who's actually in university right now?
I would say challenge the rules. That's what I do. Challenge whatever norm they provide in terms of, this is how life is done, this is how business success is achieved. I enjoyed my university years, but I have to say it's because I challenged what I learned was when I really grew. Right? So I'm overall a pretty non-confrontational guy, but like we said earlier, I will challenge anything that prevents me from moving forward. But if it's something like you got a different opinion, that's what you do, nothing to do with me, then I don't give a crap about it.
Where do you see our educational system in the next decade? Let's say Canada. And will it be? Do you think we're gonna be going into like a big bubble or a big collapse based on like students coming out of school and they're not productive and they don't have just. This is my issue. Forget about just knowledge that you have. I've talked to so many people, and this is a saying I have. It's not my saying, but I heard it. Common sense is not common sense unless it's commonly practiced.
Right.
So people are leaving school, they don't have fucking basic common sense, bro. Not intelligence, none of that shit. Is just like, dude, you don't have to go anywhere, just common fucking sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have a 13-year-old, a 10, and a 4. So this is my experience so far, because I can't say I have the vision to see where the academia is going to be in 10 years.
Sure.
But I can tell you where it seems to be going.
Okay.
Right? My kid comes home and says, yo, how's school? And she's like, it was okay. Why? I learned everything in 15 minutes, and then I had to wait for the rest of the class to catch up the last 30 minutes. It's been going on for 2 years. So now I'm looking at homeschooling because I think I could help her. Or I'm looking at more focused school.
Focused school, yeah.
So, and when I talk with my other friends' parents, they feel similar, or sports.
Yeah.
A kid is like crushing sports, but they have to wait for the rest of the class to catch up.
Yep.
So whether it be sports, academic, doesn't matter. But I find that parents are now considering more specialized, focus education, kind of like private school, but not private school. It's so different these days that you have that flexibility to mold your kid's education, right?
Yeah.
And challenge even what's going on, because I challenge what's going on right now, but I see that trend. I don't know where it's going to be, but I know that all this amalgamation of schools, putting kids into like 30 class, one teacher for 32 students, it's not going to fly.
No.
And there's going to be a backlash on it somehow, and I don't know where it's going to go, but kids are getting dumber because not them,
I think the whole world's getting this. You know that?
Yeah.
You know that documentary, Idiocracy?
One of my favorite movies.
Movie? It's a documentary,
Is it?
bro.
Oh, okay, man.
It's
Because
a documentary.
I saw it as a movie.
Yeah, President Camacho, bro.
Yeah.
Talking about him and.
Oh yeah, that's like the stupidification of man, like devolution. I think it's so cool. Or human, not mankind, but humankind.
It's happening, man. I see it on a day. Bro, people are getting fucking stupid, man.
It's so true.
I'm not high school educated, college or uni. I got kicked out in end of grade 9. And I barely even passed elementary school. I'm just coming from like just basic common sense hustler mindset.
Yeah.
And I'm just listening to people because I take the subway every day, right? So I get to hear, overshadow people.
Yeah.
And I'm just listening to these people like, fuck, man. What the fuck's the matter with these people? So dumb.
They're just getting so sheltered. It's just crazy.
Oh, fuck, man.
Yeah. I mean, I come from a higher education, like 2 university degrees, yo. But it hasn't really done much.
Yeah.
It was me hustling. It was me realizing that, if I didn't take life into my own hands, I would end up in the same. In my case, I felt bored. Same boring outcome. I didn't want to have the same 9 to 5, go to work, and we're wearing shirts.
Yeah.
But I went on my own because I refused following attire rules. I had to wear a shirt and a tie every freaking day.
Yeah.
And I thought, really? I hate this. I want to wear whatever I want.
Yep.
And just that alone was enough of a motivation for me to say, screw the accounting firm. I'm out of here. I'm running my own shop. And I remember at the high point of one of our businesses, we had a DJ live coming in. He was our CTO, this cool Russian guy. He's like, what would you like to listen to? Dance music, hip hop, trance. And then he puts on the DJ on one side and he starts coding on the other side. It's like so much fun when you can do your own thing, right?
I love it, man. I love it.
So entrepreneurship, guys, it's the way. I'm telling you, it's awesome.
Well, that's the thing with entrepreneurship. It was always been like that. This whole idea of like entrepreneurs about business, it's not. It's about being self-dependent.
Yeah.
Like if we go back before the Industrial Revolution, everybody was dependent on themselves.
Yeah.
You had to farm to get your own food or hunt to get your own food, or you have to barter and trade. For example, everybody had their own blacksmith shop, leather shop, mill, salt place, etc. So everybody was hustling to survive. There was no government handouts, there's no organizations. It's like, yo, listen, if you don't do this, well, you don't get shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
I mean, even with my kids right now, what's really cool is everyone has a gratitude journal, which is awesome.
Oh yeah.
But in the gratitude journal, they have a pain statement or a problem statement. And they've been doing this, 13-year-old, 10 years old, we're talking now over 380 days of pain or problem statement, which is a problem they see in the world that they would love a solution for.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Oh man, I got 2 I'm gonna share with you guys. My 10-year-old, it was Christmas last year. It was like garbage all over, pizza boxes. You know how school they're ordering pizzas all the time. She comes home and what she wrote in her journal was, I wish there's a better way to throw away garbage. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yep.
And then the other one, which is a really cool girl, she mows her lawn, and we had, our previous home had a pretty big lawn. And then she gets in, she's sweating, she's like, there's gotta be a more efficient way to mow the lawn. This is just like not right.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, you solved that problem. You're gonna be doing really well in life, right?
Yes.
And so that night, that was our problem statement. Like, there's gotta be a better and more efficient way of cutting the lawn.
Nice.
Right? And so to me, when you get into that kind of a mindset, as opposed to like going get an education and learning what to be, I think that's where the mistake is they're teaching what we can be versus what we can do with our lives. You know what I mean? Like how we could use our brains and solve things. So those are like really cool things that I'm noticing right now. Trend learning. I'm taking that into my business right now, and it's doing amazing. I'm just having so much fun with it.
Beautiful. So if people are like more interested into the Dude Buddha and getting in contact with you,
so just dudebuddha.com, you know, and you could, there's a form you could fill out, it all comes to me because it's literally just a one-person shop right now, but it's growing like crazy. And if you guys are parents or your dads, or even if your sons or daughters, share this site, because we're getting so much amazing lessons and tools and hacks to help just dads become better dads.
Beautiful, brother.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Always a pleasure, man.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Check out Twan. I'll put a link below this video, guys. Peace.
That was fun. Never done that before.